So Amazon bought James Bond. This happened within the last 6 to 9 months, I believe. And ever since this happened, Bond fans of cinema in general, just really curious what's going on. Technically, this is the first time that you have American control of Bond. So the other producer, and I'm not a super expert on this, but I understand the broccoli lady, she was like totally British, right? And it had like full British control of the thing. And this is the first time in the history of Bond that Americans have control of the franchise because it's now owned by Amazon. You know, I think for anybody, when you see something like this, you're like, oh my God, what are they going to do? What are the changes they're going to make? There was even a time when people were throwing around like, you know, a female Bond or whatever, but I don't think that was ever real. And then there was a list of directors that recently came out. You know, a lot of people being eyed for it. I know there were a lot of Bond fans that were hoping it would be Christopher Nolan. Christopher Nolan has spoken about wanting to do Bond in the past, but Christopher Nolan is Christopher Nolan. You know what I mean? And for whatever reason, like he was never on one of the short lists. His brother was on the short list, not him. And well, it just came out the other day. Let me pull the article up for you. It just came out. Denis Villeneuve, who made Dune 2 so fucking good that I went to go find out how to actually pronounce his name. Denis Villeneuve. This fucking guy is now doing James Bond. So let's look at this article, and then I'll give you some thoughts that I have on it. Denis Villeneuve, to direct next James Bond film, the Dune director will take the inaugural 007 movie for Amazon MGM. Denis Villeneuve is going from Dune to 007. The filmmaker has been tapped to direct the next James Bond movie, the first from Amazon MGM Studios. Tanya Lapointe, Villeneuve's artistic partner and wife, will serve as the executive producer along with Villeneuve. As previously announced, Amy Pascal and David Heyman will serve as producers. Some of my earliest movie-going memories are connected to 007. I grew up watching James Bond films with my father. Ever since Dr. No with Sean Connery, I'm a diehard Bond fan. To me, he's sacred territory. Oh, dude, that is what you want to hear. I intend to honor the tradition and open the path for many new missions to come, said Villeneuve. This is a massive responsibility, but also incredibly exciting for me and a huge honor. Whoa, dude. That's kind of nice to hear, man. That's kind of nice to hear. Pascal and Heyman added, Denis Villeneuve has been in love with James Bond movies since he was a little boy. It was always his dream to make this movie, and now it's ours too. We are lucky to be in the hands of this extraordinary filmmaker. Fuck yeah. Bond is one of the most sought-after franchises for filmmakers. Reportedly, directors who met for this film included Edward Berger, Edgar Wright, and Paul King. Villeneuve was last in theaters with Dune Part 2, which earned over $700 million at the global box office and several Oscar nominations. It's dope as fuck. Best visual effects, best picture, winning best sound, and best visual effects. Currently, he is in prep on the third Dune film, which is scheduled to shoot this summer. He's probably going to be writing a little bit on set now. It's unclear when Bond will begin production, but search is underway for a screenwriter who will work with Villeneuve to bring the newest incarnation, secret agent of the big screen. The new Bond will mark the franchise's 26th title and follow up to 2021's No Time to Die, which was incredible, which was directed by Kerry Joji Fukunaga and served as Daniel Craig's swan song as 007. It was an incredible movie. The film will mark the first Bond outing following Amazon's 8.45. By the way, that's about double what Disney paid for both Star Wars and Marvel of 2007's long-standing backer MGM. Now, real quick on that, from what I understand, the reason they had to pay so much because they actually like already paid for either distribution or something to get the full ass rights. Like I'm talking the full ass rights. They had to back the money truck up because they did not want to give this away. A thing is worth what you're willing to pay for it. And because of that, they had to give the broccoli people almost $9 billion, dude. What the fuck? That's crazy. In 2022, Amazon acquired MGM, which allowed the tech entertainment company the rights to distribute, James Bond films. But until last year, there was little movement due to the impasse between Amazon executives and longtime shepherds of all things Bond, Michael G. Wilson and Barbara Broccoli. In February, it was announced that Wilson and Broccoli are pursuing a deal with Amazon that would allow the studio to control creative on the future projects. So they got the distribution, But the broccoli motherfuckers were not playing ball, so they had to give them $9 billion. Mike Hopkins, head of Prime Video and MGM Studios, commented, "We are honored Denis has agreed to direct James Bond's next chapter. He's a cinematic master whose filmography speaks for itself." Facts. Villeneuve said, "I would deeply love one day to make a James Bond movie." Wow. Okay. Such a good story. Such a feel-good story, man. First of all, feels so cool for Denis. He's thought about this for a long time, ever since he was a boy, and that is just dope. You love to hear that. It's coming full circle. Manifest Destiny. This dude's fucking killing it. These movies are awesome. I'm more excited for Bond than ever, so it feels really good for that. I think it feels really good for Bond fans. Now, like most things in our world, not everybody's going to feel the same way. People are going to be divided on this. Guaranteed people are going to be divided on it. And I can even see why. He is a strange pick. You know what I mean? Like, he's along the lines of, like, if you got Del Toro to do this thing, you know, with this, like, strong sense of visual language, oozing with style. I think his most commercial film has been the Dune movies. And thank God the second one did well, because the first one did not. Somebody's going to be triggered in chat. It made this much in the pandemic. It actually was successful. Point is, man, like, his Blade Runner movie's fucking phenomenal. It didn't really make money. Denis has not been able to really crack, up until recently, big box office. Okay? But he's obviously incredibly talented, right? So I think people will likely be divided on this pick. For me, though, as somebody that, like, likes Bond, like, I've seen a ton of Bond, man, you know, and I like Bond. I have really fond memories of when I was a kid. They would do a lot of marathons of the James Bond movies on, like, Saturdays and stuff, so I'd, like, put them on. And, I mean, what kid didn't want to be James Bond? He was cool as fuck. He got all the ladies. He killed all the bad guys. Hello? Like, yeah, it's a winning formula, right? So I liked Bond, but I'm not like a fanatic. I wouldn't say I'm like a Bond fan. You know what I mean? For someone like me that's just kind of casually into Bond, this is the best scenario. Because now I don't just say, oh, a new Bond movie. Because, like, look, to be real, even Christopher Nolan to me would have been like, oh, so we're going to just see a really crispy, really good Bond. With Denis, I frankly think we're getting something beyond that. I think we're about to get a true visual reinterpretation of some classic Bond things. That is exciting. Okay, so I'm like, what is this man cooking? What is this man cooking? What does he want to do with Bond? Is he thinking about some futuristic science fiction type stuff? Because you know what? Bond is a tricky character in one sense, because if you push him too technologically forward, I think you lose some of the qualities that come across in, like, you know, the Fleming archetype of that character. In a sense, being old school is a little bit of the energy there. Right? So it would be hard to, like, push Bond into an incredibly technologically advanced place without it feeling a little less Bond, you know? However, if you ever had a guy that could walk that line, that could find that balance, I think it would be Villeneuve. I'm so interested to see what he's doing. Or is he going to take it back? Is he going to give us a period piece that's just, like, more advanced in its cinematic language, the cameras, the angles, the conceptions of shots, the editing, right? Like, I would love to know what are his broad strokes ideas for this. It just, to me, inherently feels like there's so much more interest, intrigue, mystery, the potential's very, very high, which is probably why it's a little bit, people are divided on it. You know what I mean? But I gotta say, for me, this is doing it, dude. Like, for me, this is doing it. My excitement level for the new Bond has skyrocketed simply off of this pick, which is crazy. So, yeah, there you have it. That's the report. That's my take. Would love to know what you think about that. Are you excited? Are you less excited now? How are you feeling about Bond, man? We got a Denis Villeneuve Bond. What the fuck is even life? Thanks for watching. And if you like this clip, smash a like on the actual video and subscribe to this channel. That way more of these clips get into your feed. I've also linked the full episode below if you want to check out the entire thing, including the Q&A we do with fans. You can also watch this show live. We do it live Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern time. And you can also find all of my content, including the videos I put on my main YouTube channel, on the podcast feed.